Welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff Around the World. This is the series where I review and check out motorcycles, small motorcycles from around the world. People can make these videos by themselves with something as simple as a cell phone, flick them towards me, I will download them, I will watch them live here on camera and share them with the rest of the world. Stay till the end of the video and I'll tell you how. This motorcycle is from Malaysia. It has been sent in by a gentleman named Shawn and it's a Yamaha 135 LC.
Hi guys, I'm Shawns from Malaysia and this is my 2012 Yamaha 135 4-speed.
Alright, let's stop right there. It just jumped to a new frame and kind of gives a good shot of the bike. Yamaha 135 LC. LC stands for liquid cooled and this is a 4-speed version. Now it's a semi-automatic. You can see there's no clutch there on the left hand side of the handlebars, but it looks like he's got a few different go fast parts. It's got some nice wheels on it, so let's check it out and see exactly what this Yamaha 135 LC has to offer.
Okay, so a bit of background on this bike. I bought the bike as a used bike from a private seller. It has 33,000 kilometers on the odometer when I bought it. It now has 35,319 kilometers.
Wow, 35,319 kilometers. So he's done about 32,000 kilometers on this bike, bought it secondhand, and you can kind of see it sneaking in shot there, or maybe I'll add a better photo of it. But the Malaysian knee basket or leg basket is my favorite invention. It's almost impossible to find a motorcycle without one in Malaysia, in Singapore as well, and they're just a really smart invention. But when you go across the border into Thailand, they don't tend to be that popular, which I find quite odd because it's a really nice way to store stuff close to you.
This is a 5-digit odometer, so who knows, it might be 130 or 230 or yeah, no one has a clue. So the bike itself.
I'm going to stop. You just said the bike itself, and you're just talking about the speedometer being a 5-digit one. That's very true. You have no real idea if that's gone around the clock or not and done 100,000 kilometers, and he got it at 103 or 203,000 instead of just 3,000. But what I really like on the back here is this rack for the Givey top box. You can see that it doesn't just bolt on to the rear of the bike. It's got a nice supporting arm on each side that goes all the way down under the fairing and connects to the same bolt that seems to attach to the passenger foot peg. So a lot of strength there in theory, and it's quite common to see these setups just available for almost every small bike in Malaysia.
I use this bike as my main commuter to work and also occasional camping trips. Everything you see on the bike here is added by the previous owner. All the accessories, they are all added by the previous owner. I've only added 2 things on the bike since I've gotten it. One is the rear rack from GV and also a top box from GV. I've also got a phone mount. And yeah, that's the only 2 things I've added.
Quad lock, if you're watching, Shawn from Malaysia uses your product and enjoys it, so send him some free stuff. I don't know how to get in touch. I can get in touch with him for you. But it's really interesting, you know, this bike's got a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously there's a carbon front fender there, it looks like it. Carbon fiber. And I'm not 100% sure if that's real carbon fiber or not, but it was all added by the previous owner. So this guy's bought a bike that looks cool just out of the box. Someone else has done all the work, but it's amazing to see what's available on the second-hand market.
So accessory wise, what did the previous owner add? So I believe these are 125 ZR side mirrors. Originally the bike doesn't come with this kind of style. And also it has a matte blue cover set from a 2017 model. It also came with a very useful knee basket. Can put my water bottle, my gloves, my bag. And it came with a set of N-Key SP522. The size in the front is 1.4 by 17 and the size in the rear is 1.8 by 17.
That's a super wide rear wheel, a rear rim. I would wonder if the front is 1.4 or 1.6. He says 1.4, but that makes sense. They always have a staggered kind of wheel size, I guess, on a small bike even though it doesn't really look like it when you're looking at it at first glance. It's impressive to see that the plastics are an aftermarket like the 2017 set, but this is a bike from 2012. So yeah, the last owner's done a lot. He's put those N-Key wheels on there, and how cool is that you can just get N-Key wheels off the shelf in Malaysia for a bike like this. Something we're missing here in New Zealand, unfortunately, because we don't really have any small bikes, I guess is one of the biggest reasons. But yeah, I really like the way this looks. It's modified tastefully, but still looks stock. You know, you've got the stock pipe and stuff like that, but the wheels, all the different colors and things set it off.
It also came with an alloy swing arm, which looks like this, and this is how you adjust it. It doesn't have the chain guard, so it flings chain loop everywhere. And yeah, last two things. The previous owner added this carbon dip grab handle and also carbon dip front mud guard.
We'll stop there after he just mentioned the carbon dipped front mudguard and the carbon dipped handle. That answers my question. They aren't carbon fiber. You know, the weight saving, if it was, probably wouldn't really be anything noticeable. I don't think it would really, you know, he uses this as his daily commuter. He's just got kind of like a spicy looking daily commuter, which is cool. So carbon dipped, so it's like they've been hydro dipped into like a carbon looking pattern. He might be about to just mention these, but there's the like anodized alloy covers there as well that say Yamaha on them. So yeah, it's really awesome to see what is possible with a bike in Malaysia, with it actually being fairly stock but looking completely aftermarket at the same time. I really do like this model. Front disc, as you can see there, which is super convenient.
And these two radiator guard and engine guard is all added by the previous owner. Alright, what I've done to the bike so far. So far, when I've gotten the bike was in good condition on the outside, but mechanically it was slightly tired. So what I did was some preventative maintenance and also did some little upgrade. One of it was like I lowered the sprocket size. Originally it was 39 tooth, but I lowered it down to 37 to cruise at higher speed. So it's more, it cruises at a lower RPM at higher speed. I've also added a set of Michelin Pilot Street 2. Size in the front is 70 by 90 and size in the rear is 80 by 90.
Those tyres that he's just talked about there, those Michelin City Grips, you can kind of get them in New Zealand, but they're really hard to source, and the Michelin tyre supplier for motorcycles in New Zealand is notoriously unreliable for actually having stock. I had a set of Michelin tyres on an old Chelly I built, and once I bought that set, you know, they didn't have another set in stock for a good year and a half, which is really, really annoying. He had to get them from overseas. Changing the sprocket gearing is a really good idea as well. The other person probably just had it designed to be able to ride in fourth gear without even changing up. Just take off in fourth gear everywhere, which is kind of a thing you'll notice if you get on motorcycle taxis in Southeast Asia. They're often plodding along in third or fourth. So large sprocket that didn't need to be achieving large speeds, but this guy obviously commutes it and wants to go a bit faster, so he's dropped a couple of teeth in the rear.
As per the original spec. Engine oil uses 1 liter. It uses an oil filter as well. And I've also upgraded the clutch and clutch spring, as I felt it was slipping at higher speeds. Alright, what I like about the bike. It's small, nimble, cheap to service. Not to mention, every bike shop in Malaysia services this bike. Parts are everywhere. And yeah, all in all, a very easy to run bike.
Yeah, he's 100% right there. It is serviceable by almost any shop, and it is an easy to run or easy to look after bike, easy to maintain. In Southeast Asia, you often see a dominance of Honda. Vietnam, you do. Cambodia, you do. Laos is the same, and then you jump into Thailand as well. There's a massive dominance of Honda. Getting down into Malaysia, the Philippines, and Indonesia, this drops off entirely, and then you've got other brands like Yamaha that are equally towing head-to-head with Honda in sales and support and aftermarket parts and things like that as well. So it's actually quite nice to go to somewhere like Malaysia and just see that not everyone's just automatically default buying a Honda. Malaysia also has a couple of their own brands, Modenas and I can't remember the other one, but there's these locally built brands as well, which often are like them car brands, that are copies of older Japanese models. They seem to do that kind of like a few years down the track. But yeah, this is really amazing, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what else he likes about this bike.
And one last thing I like about this bike is plenty of aftermarket support. Yeah, you can get everything from upgraded fuel tank to new cowl sets. You can even get a upgraded engine block kit. Alright, what I dislike about the bike. Nothing much, just two things. One, mainly it's a small fuel tank. So the fuel tank is 4 liters. You can do about 130 to 170 kilometers range, depending on how you ride it. And also, secondly, is the fear of getting the bike stolen. Yeah, because in Malaysia, this is quite a hot bike, and it is ranked as like one of the top few.
Said to pause it there. He's explaining that it's a really popular bike and he doesn't want it stolen, but the foot peg rubber has a sad face in it, as he's talking about getting bikes stolen. So yeah, bike theft is a big thing. They're not actually that hard to steal, unfortunately. I'm not a professional and don't know how to do it, but it's not uncommon to see people just kind of kick the steering locks to break them, kick the steering or the handles when they're locked, kick it out of the lock, and then just put like a little bit of wire under the front and connect a couple of things and it starts and rides away. So that's a bit of a frustrating thing. And then if they don't do that, you know, they're very easy to just lift up and take away in a truck or a van. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, let's check out what else he's got to say.
Top bikes that are targeted by thieves. So yeah, that's about it. All in all, it's a great bike. Cheap to run. Parts available. Can do respectable speed on the motorways. And yep.
And yep, that's it. Video ends there. So that's incredible. Thank you so much, Shawn. And if you like the 135 LC, tell me about it in the comments. Do you own one? Have you owned one before? It was a bike that I always aspired to own when I was living in Southeast Asia, but the prevalence of them in Thailand was just a little bit lower. Ended up getting Hondas and kind of going down that Honda path like I was mentioning before, which is cool and fun, but also a little bit boring when there's other stuff out there. You know, it's nice to try the different things. He mentioned a couple of good things right there at the end. You know, it's cheap to run and it's really achievable for highway speeds. That's a big deal. You know, you don't want a bike that can only go 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. If this thing can sit up around 85, 90 quite happily, which, you know, it's 135cc, not 125. It's liquid cooled, so it can probably maintain a better temperature in a long distance ride. Yeah, it's a really, really awesome bike. I love the 135 LC, and I would love to ride one myself. Hopefully next time I go to Malaysia I can have an actual go and give a proper review in person of one of these bikes. If you want your bike to be on Small Bike Stuff, all you've got to do is send me a message. Get in touch with me on Instagram, Small Bike Stuff. Instagram is Small Bike Stuff IG, and Facebook is Small Bike Stuff. Send me a message on there and let me know that you want to see the template video. The template video has 8 easy steps to follow. You follow those really easy filming steps, just like Shawn has done here, and then you can tell me about the bike in the background. If you don't want to edit together the clips like Shawn has done here for me, you can just send it all to me raw, I'll edit it, and then I'll do exactly what I've just done here, which is a bit of a reaction to the bike that you send in. So we've had Thailand, we've had Malaysia, this is episode number 2, and I'm really, really stoked about this. Hopefully we can get some bikes from some other countries pretty soon, and if you want to see your bike on the internet, get in touch with me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Small Bike Stuff around the world. This was Shawn's Yamaha 135 LC from Malaysia.